Good morning, everyone, and welcome to my podcast. My name is Lynette. Today we're going to talk about fear and how fear robs you of opportunities. It immobilizes you. It prevents you from being the person that you are meant to be. And honestly, most of the time, it's not real. I mean, most of the time. I would say 99% of the time. So we do need to recognize it as such that it is just an illusion or a trick that our mind is playing on us. So first we're going to address what it does to you. When you first get a fearful response to something, initially you get a fight or flight feeling. But then it seems to then take over your entire body, how you react to things, what you want to do. I'm going to share with you an experience I had. I was going through litigation for a while and had to go see quite a few attorneys, and I was out of my league. I wasn't used to living in that world, nor did I want to. And an attorney came out and said, "Follow me to my office." And I looked down his hall, and it looked like it was 3 miles long, and my legs, I swear to you, they didn't want to move. They didn't even want to take the steps forward to follow this man. I think I was a bit fearful for so many reasons, but one of which I was out of my league, and I did not know what to expect. So I was reacting to the stress, to the fear, to being in an unknown environment, to responding to an unknown environment. And that's usually when fear does creep in, is when we are responding to something that we don't know what the outcome is going to be. So we tend to picture what the outcome is going to be. And for some reason, most of the time, a lot of the times we picture a negative response. But if you can flip that around and picture the situation that you're walking into as a positive, enlightening experience, and visualize yourself walking out of that experience with a big smile on your face, kind of like athletes do when they're preparing for a game. When they're playing basketball, they don't picture the ball missing the basket, bouncing on each side. No, they have to picture the ball going into the basket. And that's the same mindset that we need to have going into a situation. Picture everything going right about it. And when it's over, we feel really good making the negative response to something that we no longer even recognize, putting that response on the back burner. In other words, that's who we used to be. Now we walk into something with a very positive outlook, knowing that the ball is going to go in the basket, just knowing that we're going to present ourselves in a positive way. And in the end, the choice of what we want to do with this situation, whether it be a job opportunity or whatever, is going to be ours because we end up in complete control. When you relinquish fear and you go in being your true self, and you can say what you want to say without holding back. I mean, of course, saying what's appropriate, but I mean, letting the true you flow, letting yourself move physically where you are truly being you, and you know that the true you is the best you. And so when that happens, you're putting your best self forward. And I believe whoever you're interacting with can see that, can sense that. And to be honest with you, I don't think they can resist it. So it's a matter of changing your mindset, because fear can be paralyzing if we allow it. It can rob us of wonderful opportunities. And it's so fun to walk into a situation and truly be you, and then that person ends up being them. In fact, I want to share another story with you. I used to go on auditions for little acting jobs, and I was with a casting director, and I don't know why, but she started sharing with me personal problems. I guess she was having one of those days, and I was just diagnosed with my situation. So I shared with her that, and as crazy as this sounds, we both sat there and cried together. And then ever since then, and I still see her online, she's still casting. Personally, I thought it was kind of neat, kind of cool, because I felt like I got to know part of her and she got to know part of me, truly the human side. And it was kind of nice, actually. I felt closer to her, a different type of relationship, other than strictly professional. But nevertheless, it was letting my guard down, letting myself be myself. And at the same time, she did the same thing. And I got to tell you, the connection, I thought, was awesome. Have you ever noticed that when things are spontaneous, you do much better? And the reason for that is because you don't have time to let your mind feed you all these untruths. And so when you're asked to do something on a whim, you usually do a much better job. So we want to develop that same type of character, almost like doing everything at a spontaneous level, being ready to do whatever we need to do at the time. And that's part of stepping in to being your true self, to being in the present moment, not having your mind 3 blocks ahead of you, but being where you are right now. And when it's time to perform or do whatever you need to do, or say whatever you need to say, or take care of whatever situation, whatever the scenario is, it doesn't matter, because if you're in the present moment, when you're asked to do it, the timing is right. And if you do that, and I have experienced this, and I believe it to be true, when you do that, when you just trust that you're going to be on at just the right time, that the wording that comes out is something that you did not pre-plan. I mean, because you can pre-plan for days, for weeks, what you're going to say in a situation. But personally, I feel it's a good idea to outline in your head what you're going to talk about. But in terms of hitting it on the head, you want to be in that realm where you're in the present moment. You're letting your vocabulary flow. You're letting your personality flow. You're letting your thoughts flow. And things come across much better. And we talk about walking in the Spirit, trusting God to be with you. All that plays a part. You're guided in walking in the Spirit, walking and trusting God's guiding you, walking and being your true self, walking and living in the present moment. You put all that together, how can you go wrong? And then you top it by visualizing that everything is going to go perfect, that you're going to make that basket every time. Just know that it works out for you every time. Your concern is not your competition. Your concern is not what others say, do, think, look like, or what we've heard. Your concern is just being you and being the best you that you can be in any situation. And the best you that you can be is being you. And to be you, you need to live in the present moment and respond to things as they come. In short, eliminating all fear. Fear is not of God. Fear is not healthy. There is nothing tied to fear that is good for us. Granted, if there truly is a fearful situation, you see a lion coming or something, then you do have that fight or flight response, and you do need it, and you do use it. But that is so rare. The rest of it is fabricated fear. And that fabricated fear is what is robbing you of what is rightfully yours, what you should be getting, instead of immobilizing ourselves. Part of letting go of fear is not only visualizing being successful, but it's trust. And trust in God that everything is going to work out. When you walk in absolute trust without questioning it, all of these things will and need to become second nature. Right now, we're addressing them, but as you work on them, you will find how things just flip to feeling and thinking that way. I mean, after all, it was the opposite way of thinking that may have put somebody into a negative mode. So that can be flipped around. That can be absolutely turned around. In fact, I was told that when we get negative thoughts, we should write down the negative thought, and then right underneath it, we should put the positive thought, because our minds can flip from one thing to another. And if we do that enough, if we write it down, pretty soon our brain starts to do that on its own. It flips from a negative, automatically like turning a page, to the positive. So we are capable of changing all of this and walking in the truth and walking in the person that we were meant to be. None of this negativity, none of this baggage was meant to be to put on us, but it's through opinions or experiences or negativity in general that we have allowed it to creep in. But it's time to get rid of it. And by getting rid of it, that's when we are truly going to walk in being our best selves. And you don't have to have the fear about if you're possibly doing something wrong, because we've talked about in previous episodes that if you're doing something wrong and if you trust, you will be redirected. And the redirection you don't look at as a negative. You look at it as just what it is, a redirection. In other words, in your own head, you may have built something up and you've wanted it so bad. But if something happens where you don't get it, it's not that negativity is entering into your life. It's that the universe is redirecting you. And part of that is finding gratitude for redirection, not looking at it as a failure, but looking at it as a better opportunity. So if we walk in absolute freedom, if we walk in letting our bodies be in the present moment, then I believe there will be the best outcomes. I believe the best you will shine through. And that is so exciting. And remembering and knowing that the best outcome isn't always the outcome that you were visualizing, that you were hoping for. And if you have that mentality, then you have no failures. You just know that there's another opportunity right around the corner. What I'm expressing here is not set yourself up for failure by any means, but knowing that no matter what you do, it's a win-win situation. We can get fearful of anything. I know when I first started worrying about my health, I would eat certain things and I would feel like I was getting a little reaction. And it got to me where I started to develop a fear of food. And I could feel it and I thought, this isn't right. I know it's not right. Well, I've since gotten over that. Balance in everything is a key. And I do believe that we should enjoy life. But what I'm saying is that we can develop a fear in anything, in all walks that we have. We need to relinquish fear. We need to always set our goal for being our best self. We need to live in the present moment. And if you're walking in the present moment, you don't have room for fear. It shuts it out. And knowing that 99% of what you're fearful of is not going to happen. And look at everything as an opportunity. And turn your fear into excitement. Because that's what it really is. That's what life is all about. And when you really, really wrap your head around the fact that there are no missed opportunities, whether it be in a relationship, a career, no matter what it is, if you can get your mind in a place where you recognize what it is, basically dodging that bullet or a redirection, then you can look at everything with a positive outlook. But I think the better outlook we have on things in life, the better we navigate this thing called life, and the more fun it is, the more we enjoy it. I believe these are all secrets to enjoying this thing called life. First and foremost, getting this show out to you is my top priority. But there are expenses involved. If you're enjoying the show and you would like to support the show, you can do so by pressing the support button at the bottom of the episode description. I thank you so much for listening, and I will talk to you next week. Bye-bye.